Su Yang, in his massive and intimidating dragon form, addresses his underlings with a grave tone. However, this time the exploration team seems better prepared. Not only do they have more people than before, but they also appear to be seasoned fighters with top-notch equipment. They won't be easy to deal with, he says. One of the dragon warriors, his chest puffed with unwavering confidence, strides forward and addresses his leader with a tone of absolute command. "My king, have no fear. Leave the intruders to us," he declares, his voice echoing through the cavernous hall like a foreboding promise of doom. The walls seem to tremble slightly under the weight of his words, underscoring the gravity of the situation. Standing beside him, another warrior, equally resolute and brimming with fiery determination, adds with intense conviction, "We will drive them all out, not leaving a single one behind." This powerful display emphasizes the sheer might and formidable presence of these dragon warriors. Their stats are nothing short of imposing. Level 95, Elite Boss, Mutated Dragon Blood Warrior. These attributes are more than mere numbers. They represent a level of strength and resilience that sets them apart as nearly invincible. Their stats reflect their vast physical prowess, magical resistance, and combat capabilities, painting them as an almost insurmountable force. They move with an effortless grace that belies their immense power, each step exuding an aura of terror and dominance. The very air seems to crackle with their formidable presence, creating an atmosphere charged with the anticipation of an imminent and devastating clash. Amidst the confident banter and the palpable tension, Su Yang's sharp eyes catch sight of two unfamiliar creatures mingling among the ranks. His brow furrows as he murmurs to himself, "Strange. I haven't seen you two before." His gaze narrows, filled with a mix of curiosity and concern as he tries to piece together the significance of these mysterious new additions to the formidable dragon army. The elf nervously begins to explain, "Remember the day you suddenly went berserk and started hating yourself? After those two licked the blood that spewed out, it turned into this." Su Yang, intrigued, observes them closely. "Oh, so directly consuming dragon blood has an effect too," he muses. The elf continues, "Only these two successfully mutated. There are others. Over there." She gestures toward two visibly anxious creatures who are desperately apologizing. They look very weak and frail. Su Yang surveys the unfolding situation, his thoughts racing. What is this? It seems like that fleeting dragon blood army won't cut it. He quickly dismisses the thought with a shrug, thinking, "No matter. These two aren't to be underestimated. Although they may not match my current strength, they could be comparable to the pre-evolved Black Flame Wing." Without hesitation, Su Yang commands, "You two go intercept the enemy." "Yes," they respond in unison, their voices brimming with readiness and determination as they set off to carry out the order. Noticing a hint of unease in the elf's demeanor, Su Yang turns and asks, "What's wrong? You don't seem happy." The elf hesitates for a moment, then offers a soft, somewhat forced smile. "It's nothing," they reply, though the words are tinged with uncertainty. As Su Yang refocuses on the task at hand, the elf is left to grapple with her own thoughts. This time, the hero team is incredibly strong. She reflects inwardly. They might actually defeat the Black Dragon, but why don't I feel much joy in my heart? The elf's mind is clouded with an unsettling sense of disconnect, struggling to reconcile her emotions with the gravity of the impending battle. The scene shifts dramatically as the hero team initiates their assault. Each member moves with precise coordination and immense force, their collective power crackling through the air. The intensity of the fight reverberates through the environment, the clash of energies shaking the very ground beneath them. Jiutai, maintaining a steely focus amidst the chaos, commands, "Steady advance. Watch out for any potential threats." The battle unfolds with an electrifying energy, the air thick with tension as the team engages their formidable foes with disciplined ferocity. As they press forward through the dimly lit corridors, Liu Linger comments on Jiutai's focused demeanor, saying, "Look how tense you are." Even if the Black Dragon has evolved to the stellar tier, the smaller monsters won't change, she remarks, her tone steady and reassuring. Jiutai, ever the cautious strategist, counters with a wry smile. "Better safe than sorry," he replies, his gaze sweeping the area with a vigilance born from experience. Warning, the harsh, shrill blare of alarms cuts through the air, causing everyone to jump. "Attention! The lead boss is incoming," the system announces, its urgency unmistakable. The team springs into action with practiced precision, their readiness evident in their swift, coordinated movements. Moments later, two colossal creatures materialize before them, their immense forms casting long shadows over the floor. Just as we were talking about it, Jiutai mutters under his breath, his eyes narrowing as he sizes up the imposing figures that have appeared seemingly on cue. Liu Linger, unfazed, issues a command, "Only two elite monsters. Take them down." She quickly assesses the situation and adds, "Spread out. Prevent any combo attacks between the two bosses. One's immune to physical damage, the other to magic. Use the right damage types. The battle intensifies as the team spreads out, each member executing precise strikes with a synchronized efficiency that is both impressive and deadly. The air crackles with the energy of their attacks as they work together to dismantle their foes. Amidst the chaos, a commanding voice rings out, control their HP, prevent the low HP berserk mechanic. The order is clear and urgent, aimed at ensuring that the bosses don't enter a frenzied state that could turn the tide against them. In the midst of the fray, Crappy Thug steps forward and unleashes a devastating attack, Shadow Horn Instant Kill, which sends shockwaves rippling through the battlefield. The impact is immediate and dramatic. One of the bosses collapses with a thunderous roar, its last words echoing, "For the glory of Lord Athos. Kill the intruders." The fall of one boss only serves to heighten the tension. The remaining boss, now alone and enraged, surges with an explosive surge of power. Its stats, attack power, defense, magic resistance, and attack speed all skyrocket, transforming it into a far more formidable opponent. With a guttural growl, it charges back into the fight, its presence almost palpable with the newfound strength. Jotai, eyes wide with alarm as he observes the rapid escalation, shouts over the clamor, "This is even more intense than a normal berserk mode." His voice is filled with both awe and concern as the battle reaches a new dangerous peak. Liu Linger quickly assesses the situation and shouts, "It's summoning minions. Watch out for their group buffs. Split the battlefield. Don't let them regroup." She swiftly takes command, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Don't panic. Stick to the plan and keep draining their HP. No matter how many small fries come, they're still just small fries. Off-tank, pull the minions away. The rest of you, focus on the boss. My spirit beast will join the fight as well." Her team moves like clockwork, every member executing their roles with flawless precision. The battlefield transforms into a chaotic storm of power and strategy, where each strike and maneuver is perfectly timed. Amid the frenetic action, one of the team members, his voice brimming with confidence, exclaims, "The young lady helping us? There's no way we can lose." His words ripple through the ranks, bolstering the team's morale as they continue their relentless assault on their formidable foes. The battlefield is chaotic, with powerful strikes and mystical energy flying in every direction, yet Liu Linger remains focused, orchestrating the fight with precision. Suddenly, she commands, "Wait, leave a sliver of health. Don't kill it yet." "Yes, yes." The team responds, quickly adjusting their tactics to follow her instructions. As the enemies weaken, one mutters bitterly, "Damn intruders. If you're going to kill me, just end it already. Why drag it out?" Liu Linger approaches the weakened enemy, her eyes fixed on it with steely determination. Although it's in humanoid form, it's still a dragon, she thinks to herself. "Let me see if I can tame it." The dragon bellows in defiance, its voice a thunderous roar. "Damn you, cursed humans. You dare try to control me? I will never." Before it can complete its defiant proclamation, Liu Linger steps forward with unwavering resolve. With a graceful yet commanding gesture, she activates her beast-taming technique and intones, "Become my power." The dragon's fierce resistance begins to waver as its mind becomes shrouded in a haze of confusion. Its roar falters and it mutters, Who am I?" Liu Linger, her tone both calm and authoritative, responds, "You're my loyal servant now." The dragon hesitates, its internal conflict clearly audible as it weakly intones, "I am your servant." But before it can fully submit, another dragon, observing the situation with growing alarm, shouts urgently, "Don't be fooled by her. Snap out of it, hey." The cry is charged with desperation, a final plea to resist the control that is overtaking the dragon. Seeing the unfolding danger, Su Yang's voice cuts through the clamor with icy fury. "Outrageous. You dare intrude on my territory and attempt to take my subordinates." His tone grows colder as he continues, "While capturing pets might be a routine matter from a player's perspective, I am the boss here. How can I simply allow you to have your way?" Su Yang's gaze sweeps over the battlefield, assessing the situation with a strategic eye. His thoughts churn as he considers the formidable lineup facing him. Looking at their lineup, "I probably can't win even as a stellar tier." The realization hits him hard. Do I really have to swallow this thing to try advancing? He hesitates, his eyes fixed on the strange object before him. Its expression reveals a deep internal struggle, torn between the necessity of the action and the distaste it invokes. The decision weighs heavily on him, reflecting the gravity of the moment and the stakes of the battle ahead. The elf, observing the dragon's hesitation with a mix of disbelief and revulsion, exclaims, "What is that disgusting thing? Wait, don't tell me. You're going to eat it? No way. No way." With a resigned expression and a deep sigh, Su Yang responds, "I don't have a choice. If I want to win, this is the only way." Steeling himself, Su Yang takes the plunge and swallows the object in one swift gulp. The elf, eyes wide with curiosity and a hint of dread, asks, How? How does it taste? Su Yang's face contorts in a grimace of pure disgust. Disgusting, he replies, his voice tinged with revulsion. Slimy, and it tastes like a sewer. His reaction leaves no doubt about the unpleasantness of the experience. Before he can say more, something begins to change inside him. A sudden surge of energy courses through his body, and in an instant, a massive explosion of light erupts, blinding the entire battlefield. The ground shakes violently as a powerful golden beam shoots up into the sky, piercing through the clouds. The dragons, momentarily stunned by this sudden and extraordinary display, can only watch in awe. One of them breaks the silence, exclaiming, a shining golden light. Could it be the Lord? Another dragon, voice barely above a whisper, adds in disbelief, my king. As the golden light continues to radiate, intensifying with every passing moment, Lu Linger's eyes widen in shock. She gasps, a powerful force. It's coming from the fortress. What's happening? Shielding her eyes from the blinding brilliance, Lu Linger is overwhelmed with a mix of surprise and realization. Something big is about to happen, she thinks, her mind racing. Her eyes widen further as recognition dawns, and she whispers, Ah, that's. The battlefield falls silent as a massive shadow looms over the horizon. Emerging from the golden light is the fully evolved black dragon, its wings spread wide, casting an ominous darkness across the land. The sheer power radiating from its form is palpable, striking fear into all who witness it. Lu Linger gasps, her heart racing. System notifications flash. Unknown factor detected. Dungeon boss. Black Flame Wing, Black Dragon O's has undergone a mutation. The dragon, now towering and more fearsome than ever, exudes an overwhelming aura. Its evolution is complete, not just a threat, but a force of nature. More notifications appear. Boss, Black Flame Wing Athos, post-maturity stage, level 15, Radiant Moon tier. The reality of the situation sinks in as the secret realm itself ascends, matching the dragon's newfound strength. The stakes have never been higher. With cold, calculated resolve, Su Yang declares successful evolution. Next up, time to crush them. After saying this, Su Yang took flight in the sky. The entire raiding team was shocked and confused. The crappy thug started yelling, saying that it all seems like a joke. The last time Dragon advanced to Starshine rank, and now the dungeon level jumped straight up to Moonlight rank. He yelled, what kind of prank was this? He started yelling at the GM to come out and explain this situation. Zhu Tai stopped him from yelling. He said that he was shocked too, but they need to calm down first and assess the situation. The priest urged Zhu Tai that they can't handle the Moonlight rank boss right now. Lu Linger was also nervous due to this sudden development. Despite this keeping her calm, she urged everyone to stop shouting while saying that she thinks this might be a bug in the dungeon system. She questioned that how could a Moonlight rank Black Dragon progress so rapidly. Cutting her thoughts, our guy Su Yang questioned her then if she still thinks it's a bug. He mocked her, saying that she is so naive, and let him give her a lesson and started charging the skill. Looking at this, Zhu Tai assumed command over the situation and shouted everyone to activate defensive spells. In addition to this, he commanded to use all the damage reduction skills and asked everyone to not hold back and survive this situation. Su Yang was about to use his skill, but the entire reading team prepared by casting Mountain Barrier, Holy Light Defense Array, Century of the Earth Mother, and Enhanced Fire Resistance. With all these skills, the reading team was prepared to face the Black Dragon. Su Yang was ready and fired his massive incineration purifying fire pit. There was a loud boom in the area, and the whole area got covered in a massive firestorm. In the aftermath of this skill, 10 people were killed instantly and 6 were barely hanging on. Zhu Tai was also damaged a lot. He clenched his fist, saying that it was a good thing that they didn't come unprepared. The notification window revealed that they have the Ring of Life Emerald. This ring revives the user at full health when they died in the dungeon. The effects of this ring instantly got triggered. All the dead members revived at their position with the full health. Looking at this, Su Yang noticed that they have used one-time revival item. He wondered that the exploration team really went all out this time. Lu Linger used her chain summon skill and summoned all of her beasts. According to her, the dragon had just used a big move, and they can take advantage of this because according to her, the dragon will not be able to move for some time now. Hearing this, everybody launched their attack on the Black Dragon. The entire area shook from their relentless attacks. But to her surprise, all the attacks did almost no damage to the Black Dragon, and she was shocked to this revelation. Zhu Tai responded, saying that the heart of the dragon was already consumed by it, and originally they planned to chip away Black Dragon's health slowly. The crappy thug added to this statement, saying that was the plan to beat Starshine rank boss. Now the one they are facing is a Moonlight rank boss. According to him, the stats of this monster can crush all of them. He questioned Zhu Tai that how can they even wear this boss down. The black dragon raised its hand in the air while declaring, against the absolute power, all fancy tricks were meaningless. Someone from the group chapter that the dragon boss was about to use another skill. To add to their despair, somebody else mentioned that the damage reduction skill hasn't yet refreshed and the team has no time to defend also. The priest tried to use his skill to block the incoming damage, but before he can even complete the spell, Su-yang launched Dragon Impact skill. A person named Zhen got heavily damaged trying to block the black dragon's skill. Another person from the team advised to just prepare themselves to die. Lu lingered with a grave expression on her face. This was a totally hopeless situation for her. She had realized that nearly everyone from her team was wiped out. She questioned that how can this black dragon be so strong? Jutai started between her and Black Dragon, saying that she should just run and they can try to hold the Black Dragon back so she can escape safely. She questioned, saying that, "Are you telling me to give up?" According to her, she is prepared for a very long time or just this day. Jutai cut her off, saying that from the moment the Black Dragon advanced, they lost any chance of winning. Now the best they can do is to minimize their losses. According to him, as long as Lu Linger survives, they can at least report back to the master. He begged her to consider this. Although regrettingly she realized that Jutai was right, she instantly turned back and started heading toward the exit. Looking at her running away, the Black Dragon questioned her, "Are you trying to escape now?" According to him, she's the main course of today. He had no intention of letting her go. Somebody used a taunt skill to distract the Black Dragon away from the mistress. Jutai declared that the Black Dragon shouldn't even think about chasing the young miss. According to him, they were his opponent. Jutai motivated his team, saying that they should go all out and try to rip off a scale from the dragon. Su Yang understood their tactic, that they were planning to sacrifice themselves to save the young miss. In the next moment, a loud boom sound was heard. The entire area was covered with flame. The Black Dragon had used its flame scale and granted death to all the raid party members. Lu Linger was dashing toward the exit on her unicorn. She was contemplating that she lost very miserably and she will not be able to call herself a genius after this incident. She consoled herself, saying that there is hardly anyone who can subdue a moonlight-ranked Black Dragon. She smiled a little, saying that if she couldn't do it, neither can Asubi Makio or Su Yang. According to her, she wasn't lost yet, as long as she get back safely and find the next dragon to subdue. While she was about to finish, this thought instantly hit a wall and crashed on the ground. Well, that was not a wall she crashed into, it was our Giga Chad boy Su Yang. Looking at the towering figure of the Black Dragon, Lu Linger realized that Jutai and the others weren't even able to last 1 minute against the Black Dragon. She commanded the Blue Tiger to hold the dragon off, but in the next moment she was grabbed by the Black Dragon. She started yelling at the dragon to let her go. While Su Yang held her in the hand, he smacked the Blue Tiger with his tail. He questioned her that she is a mere human, think that she can subdue the Black Dragon. He was about to eat her, saying that she now has to pay for her foolishness with her life. Lu Linger started crying loudly, which surprised the Black Dragon. While crying, she declared that she just didn't want to lose to Su Yang and Sakura Girl. According to her, she just didn't want to disappoint her dad and wanted to prove that she was the greatest beast tamer. She stated that she didn't want to be outdone and she didn't want to be eaten either. She kept crying nonstop, and Su Yang thought that she was so simple and fragile inside. He sympathized with her, saying that he got that she's just competitive, but he can't just let her go for nothing. He declared that it's fine, that he will not eat her and will give her a quick death. In the next moment, the Black Dragon started breathing a small amount of fire and roasted Lu Linger like a marshmallow. The system notification then confirmed her death, and Su Yang gained a lot of experience as she was a 5th transformation Beastmaster. He declared that after all, humans and monsters are natural enemies, and he said that she was just unlucky that she ran into him. Su Yang stood at the center of the battlefield, breathing heavily, his eyes glowing with satisfaction as a familiar sound echoed in his mind. He had done it. Level 72. Finally, the grinding had paid off, and the hard work, relentless effort, and calculated strategies were now bearing fruit. His body ached from the intensity of the battles, but nothing could drown out the sense of achievement surging through him. He surveyed the field. Scattered around him were piles of loot, glittering like treasures from ancient legends. Platinum coins, diamond-crusted relics, rare weapons, all valuable. But for Su Yang, it had become ordinary, a ho-hum part of his dungeon-clearing routine. More platinum, more diamonds, he muttered to himself, shaking his head. May have been there, done that. The wealth didn't thrill him anymore. Once you've had enough riches to swim in like a dragon, what was more gold going to add to your life? He was no Scrooge McDuck. His attention wandered to the rest of the spoils, hoping for something, anything that would actually be exciting. He wanted more than just wealth. He wanted power, and he needed items that could push his stats to the next level. As he scanned the remaining loot, something caught his eye. A ring, not just any ring, but one with a soft, ethereal glow that seemed to pulse with life. Instantly, his heart quickened. This wasn't an ordinary piece of equipment. He could feel its potential just by looking at it. Su Yang reached down and picked up the ring, carefully inspecting it. It shimmered in the light, a celestial glow enveloping its surface. A relic left behind by a great spirit master after their death. Perhaps it has been soaked in spiritual resonance for so long that even after the original owner passed away, it continued to whisper in meditation. The whisper from the ring permanently increases the wearer's spirit power by 1% each day, up to a total increase of 10%. Consumes mana to render the wearer completely immune to any mental interference for the next hour. Su Yang's eyes gleamed. This wasn't just a normal accessory, it was a game changer. It was rare for an accessory to offer both a stat boost and resistance bonuses like this, and the fact that it came with such powerful traits was mind-blowing. He had seen plenty of powerful weapons and armors, but accessories like this were few and far between. What really got him excited was the passive trait. A permanent increase in spirit power by 1% per day? That was incredible. With this ring, he could exponentially boost his power in a short time. It wasn't an immediate game changer, but it was the kind of item that would make a massive difference in the long run. Combine that with the Spirit Master's Blessing active ability, which made him immune to mental attacks, and Su Yang knew he had just found something that could tip the scales in any future battle. And then, as if that wasn't enough, Su Yang's eyes widened when he noticed the gem slot. Those were legendary. Infinite stones could continuously absorb mana from the surroundings, making sure the item they were embedded in never ran out of power. The sheer rarity of infinite stones made them priceless, and the idea of combining such a gem with the Spirit Whisper Ring was almost too good to be true. Lu Linger, you really outdid yourself this time, he said aloud, though Lu Linger was nowhere around to hear him. She had dropped some incredible loot upon her defeat, but this ring, it was beyond anything he'd expected. As Su Yang slipped the ring onto his finger, he felt a surge of energy coursing through him. His spirit power instantly spiked, and the world around him seemed to slow down as his mind became sharper. This was the kind of boost he needed. But that wasn't all. As he admired his new ring, Su Yang felt another surge of energy, this one far more intense than before. His fingers tingled, and his vision blurred for a moment before a new item appeared in his inventory. What? Another one, he muttered, opening his inventory to investigate. There, glowing with an eerie light, was a forbidden scroll. The wrath of the wind god tears apart anyone who dares to provoke him. Su Yang's jaw dropped. This was no ordinary spell. This was a forbidden spell, and not just any forbidden spell, but a first-tier one at that. Forbidden spells were the stuff of legend, spells so powerful they were restricted by the world's laws. Just having one in your possession was enough to make you a target for every ambitious mage and warrior out there. With 2 forbidden spells now in his arsenal, Su Yang's grin widened. He felt invincible. With these 2 trump cards, he could decimate any opponent foolish enough to cross his path. The sheer destructive power of the wrath of the wind god combined with his existing forbidden spell meant that Su Yang now had options. Whether it was a one-on-one duel or a battlefield full of enemies, he had the tools to destroy them all. Well, Lu Linger, I guess I owe you a thank you after all, Su Yang thought to himself. He hadn't expected to walk away from this battle with so much power, but sometimes the world had a way of surprising even someone like him. Su Yang straightened his posture and decided it was time to head back to base. Word of the expedition team's defeat had likely already spread through the land, and it wouldn't be long before people started talking about him again. The rumors were probably circulating at that very moment, each more exaggerated than the last. But Su Yang wasn't concerned about what others thought. He had bigger plans in mind. The mission for the Black Flame Wings, Su Yang muttered to himself, clenching his fist as he teleported back to his base. It's time to bring an end to it. Meanwhile, far from the smugness of Su Yang's victory, another scene was unfolding. The remnants of the defeated expedition team were licking their wounds both physically and emotionally. They had thrown everything they had at the Black Dragon, only to be sent packing in disgrace. It was one thing to lose, but it was another to lose after bringing an entire army with you. The team huddled together in a makeshift camp, many still in shock. Some murmured to themselves, others sat in sullen silence, unable to process how things had gone so wrong. The bitterness in their voices was palpable. These were seasoned warriors, mages, and beast tamers. None of them were strangers to battle. Yet they had been utterly humiliated by the Black Dragon, a beast that seemed to defy logic. Jotai, the team's de facto leader, had been standing off to the side, listening to the complaints with a frown on his face. He had tolerated their grumbling long enough. Enough, Jotai snapped, his voice cutting through the air like a whip. We lost. Deal with it. His words silenced the group immediately. The team looked at him, waiting for him to continue. Has anyone seen the young miss? Jotai asked, scanning the group. His question hung in the air, and for a moment, no one spoke. That realization dawned on them all at once. The young miss, Lu Linger, was missing. A collective sense of dread settled over the team. They all remembered the last time when the grumpy old geezer necromancer got killed by the black dragon. The look on their faces was akin to that of children who knew they were about to get in trouble with their mother. Zhu Tai cursed under his breath, his worry for the young miss outweighing his frustration. "Where is she?" he growled, striding off toward the edge of the camp. He had to find her, and fast. It didn't take long before he spotted her, huddled in a quiet corner, her shoulders shaking as she sobbed. She was sitting on the ground, her face buried in her hands. Her normally composed and regal demeanor had completely crumbled. Zhu Tai's heart sank. He had seen the young miss upset before, but never like this. "Miss," he started, his voice softer now as he approached her. "Miss Lu Linger." She didn't respond, lost in her own world of despair. She had come here with one goal in mind: to tame the black dragon. As one of the most gifted beast tamers in the land, Lu Linger had believed that she could accomplish what no one else could. But she had been wrong. Her preparations hadn't been enough, and she had been soundly defeated. "How can I call myself a genius monster master now?" she whispered through her tears, more to herself than to anyone else. The title had once filled her with pride, but now it felt like a cruel joke. She had believed taming the black dragon would be the pinnacle of her achievements, but the task had turned out to be far more difficult than any of her previous conquests. I thought I could do it," she sobbed, her voice breaking. "I really thought this would be it." Zhu Tai kneeled beside her, his expression softening. He wasn't always the most compassionate person, but seeing the young miss like this tugged at his heartstrings. "Miss, you're one of the best beast masters out there. Don't let this one defeat ruin everything." Lu Linger shook her head, still crying. "How can I be a genius if I can't even tame a dragon?" Her voice was small and filled with self-doubt. "You're not just any genius," Zhu Tai said firmly. "You're the daughter of the TNG Pavilion, and besides, no one could have predicted that the black dragon would evolve mid-fight. There's no shame in losing to a moonlight tier dragon." Lu Linger sniffled, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. "Do you really think so?" Zhu Tai nodded. Even Su Yang couldn't defeat a moonlight tier black dragon, at least not easily. Lu Linger perked up slightly at the mention of Su Yang's name. Su Yang, the infamous dungeon conqueror, had a reputation for being nearly unbeatable. If even he would struggle against the black dragon, maybe her failure wasn't so catastrophic after all. Besides, Zhu Tai continued, "It's not over yet. There's still the red dragon and the silver dragon. The red dragon is a bit weaker, but the silver dragon, if you could tame it, it might be the most powerful dragon ever tamed by a beast master." A spark of hope ignited in Lu Linger's chest. Taming the silver dragon. That would be an achievement no one could dispute. The thought filled her mind, and for a brief moment her tears stopped. She was already fantasizing about what it would be like to have the silver dragon by her side, its majestic form towering over all who dared challenge her. "You're right, Zhu Tai," she said, her voice gaining strength. "I won't give up. If I can't have the black dragon, then I'll tame the silver dragon. And when I do, I'll be the most powerful beast master in the world." Zhu Tai smiled. "That's the spirit, miss." Feeling revitalized by her newfound goal, Lu Linger stood up, wiping away the last of her tears. "Report the losses to the TNG Pavilion," she ordered. "We'll cover the expenses." Zhu Tai nodded. "Understood." The rest of the team of lowlifes, who had been watching from a distance, erupted into cheers. "Long live the young miss," they chanted, their spirits lifted by her determination. They had all been worried about how she would react to the loss, but now it seemed like they were back on track. But just as they were preparing to leave, a new team appeared at the dungeon's entrance. It was Ashu Makiko, another renowned beast master, accompanied by her own team. "Could it be Miss Lu Linger?" Makiko called out, recognizing her rival from a distance. Lu Linger turned, her eyes narrowing slightly. "That's me. Are you here to tame the black dragon too?" Makiko smiled and nodded. "I am." It seems we had the same idea. The two beast masters locked eyes for a moment, a silent challenge passing between them. Makiko extended her hand for a handshake, but Lu Linger wasn't in the mood for pleasantries. Without a word, she turned away, mounted her unicorn, and rode off with her team. The members of Makiko's team were left fuming. "How rude," one of them exclaimed. "Does the bitch think she's better than us?" "The bitch is probably just upset because she couldn't tame the black dragon," another said with a smirk. Makiko, however, wasn't interested in their complaints. "Quiet," she ordered. "She's angry. Let it go." "Why are you defending her?" one of her team members asked, confused by her attitude. Makiko shook her head. "It's not about defending her. She's not our enemy. Focus on the task at hand." Her team grumbled but followed her lead, knowing better than to argue with their leader. As they approached the dungeon, they checked the status and were shocked to see that it had jumped from Starlight Tier to Moonlight Tier. What the hell? How are we supposed to fight that? One of the team members asked in disbelief. It's like Longsha is playing games with us, another muttered. Makiko frowned, realizing the difficulty of the situation. Taming a Starlight Tier dragon was one thing, but a Moonlight Tier. That was an entirely different level of challenge. She quickly contacted their boss, Mr. Lai, to inform him of the situation. Boss, the dungeon has leveled up. We're going to need more backup, she said, her tone serious. Mr. Lai, to his credit, remained calm. I was aware of the change, he said. Stay at an inn for now. Someone will come to assist you. Makiko sighed, but there was little else they could do for now. She and her team made their way to a nearby inn to rest and regroup. Meanwhile, the question still lingered in her mind. How had the dungeon evolved so quickly? Could it have been manipulated? The next day, a lone figure appeared at the dungeon's entrance. Su Yang had returned. He walked in as if the dungeon was his own domain, his aura radiating confidence and power. The area was quieter than it had been the day before, the remnants of the previous battle now nothing more than memories. Only one thing remained, the Black Dragon. It's time, Su Yang said, his voice low and determined. Time to put an end to this dungeon. With that, his aura flared, enveloping him in a brilliant light as he prepared for the final battle. Su Yang was standing at the edge of the fortress of the Black Dragon. He thought that in the past he always connected to the Black Dragon boss to face the challengers who were entering the dungeon. He reminisced, saying that it is finally his turn to enter the dungeon as a challenger, and he said that he must admit the feeling was quite extraordinary, and the next moment he saw a number of wyverns heading toward his location. Here comes the grand welcome, he talked to himself, admitted that the scene was quite familiar to his usual strategy that he used against all the challengers. But this was different strategy is not going to work on him because he is the Giga Chad. Beasts, open your eyes wide and see who's standing for you. Su Yang yelled in a large wave of horror-aggressive tone. He emitted a large wave of aura, which pushed back all the wyverns and filled the entire area with his energy. This is the aura of Lord Ethos? The wyverns questioned. Our Giga Chad standing heroically with both hands in the pockets and glowing red eyes. He was surrounded by a purple aura and was about to go Super Saiyan like Goku. The wyverns questioned that why does a human carry Lord Athos' aura? Then they noticed the energy and flames surrounding our Giga Chad. There's no doubt it's Lord Athos' black flame, yet lost Su Yang commanded all the dragons in angry tone. He thought that the battle with the Black Dragon was imminent and he should not waste his time with these small creatures. In the next moment, he flicked his finger to summon two ghostly moon spirit wolves. He commanded the walls to guard this area and keep releasing the moonlight deer pressure so that all the small creatures will stay away from that area. After saying this, he started his connection to the Black Dragon boss. The scene changes to the Black Dragon, and the elf princess was sitting beside him. She commented that there was already a new challenger so soon. The Black Dragon took flight to the skies and headed toward this direction of the dungeon entrance. Watching the Black Dragon flying away, the elf princess pitied the unlucky ones who were about to become the sacrifice of the Black Dragon. According to her, it was always a crushing victory for the Black Dragon, and at this point, she had already given up on her freedom. She thought that there was no credibility in a monstrous promise, hence the reason she has given up on her freedom. The Black Dragon then landed in front of both the wolves. Watching the Black Dragon landing in the area, both of the wolves were scared. The first one asked the other what should they do. There was no way that they can beat this dragon. The other wolf mentioned that this Black Dragon smelled like their master. Did this dragon eat him? The other was replied saying that that shouldn't be possible, because if the master was dead, they should also have been disappeared already. Ignoring their conversation, the Black Dragon raised his claw and thrusted it into his chest. Looking at the scene, the boat wolves thought that the Black Dragon was crazy. Pulling back his claw filled with golden blood, Su Yang thought that last time he noticed that when he self-harmed the Black Dragon, his damage reduction didn't work on itself. He thought that, however, he should not injure the Black Dragon below the half health. That might affect the drop rate of the items. The status bar showed that the Black Dragon health was at 54%. Su Yang then commanded the Black Dragon to follow his orders. He told him to stand still and suppress his flesh recovery to the maximum. He also told him to command all the monsters in the dungeons to stop moving. After this command, he disconnected from the system. He then appeared right in front of both the wolves. The wolves were surprised by his sudden appearance. Look, the master is still alive after all, they cheered happily. Thanks to you, I managed to stage the comeback from a weak class. It's impossible not to have some feelings about that, Su Yang mentioned while walking slowly toward the Black Dragon. The Black Dragon was standing still without any emotions and with a large gaping hole in his chest. Su Yang mentioned that now a new path has opened and it was time to move forward. He commanded the dragon to die and then reborn as his servant. He promised that together they will conquer even broader lands. He yelled Black Dragon Atho's name and leaped in the air toward him. The two wolves were behind him, ready to attack the Black Dragon. The Black Dragon was standing still without any emotions in his eyes. They were just black holes, and he was a mere puppet without any emotions and soul. Su Yang and the wolves started attacking the Black Dragon relentlessly.
2 hours later.
The wolves were about to collapse, and Su Yang's hands were numb by just attacking the Black Dragon. What is this? That's straight up cheating. It's not even fair. I was expecting a decent fight, but all I get is one side rampaging, another side getting slaughtered without doing anything. Imagine if the Black Dragon was fighting back a little, our Giga Chad would have instantly become Giga Flat. Jokes aside, I feel really bad about the Black Dragon. A little sad, actually. While drinking a potion, Su Yang finally admitted that he understood the feeling of exploration teams. According to him, if it wasn't for his over-the-top stats plus 900% damage increase from the soul marker and extreme dual cultivation, he wouldn't even be able to break through the Black Dragon's defenses. Replenishing his energy, he headed toward the Black Dragon, again saying that just a little more and finish it in one last attempt. The saying changes to the elf princess, who was sleeping at the ground peacefully. A loud roar from the Black Dragon woke her up. Is that the roar of the Black Dragon? She questioned. The sky started clearing out and the fog that was covering the dungeon lifted slowly. All the dragon minions started to disappear. She realized that the aura of the Black Dragon has been vanished. The scene changes to Su Yang, where he realized that it was finally over. The body of the Black Dragon started to disintegrate into thin air. The system notification informed him that he has slain the Moonlight tier boss Black Flame Wing Ethos and gained 103.21 million experience points. Another notification confirmed that the master of the dungeon has been killed and all the monsters in the dungeons have automatically died. He gained additional 8.02 million experience points from this. His level rose from 79 to 80, a massive amount of experience. It was 3 times more than the total amount he got after wiping out dozens of 5th tier members in Lu Linger's group. As expected of a Moonlight tier boss, Su Yang muttered. The body of the Black Dragon then turned into a bright glowing yellow sword. Is this the weapon dropped by the Black Dragon? Su Yang questioned. He realized that it was definitely not an ordinary item. He walked toward the sword and lifted it. It was a huge sword made out of bones. A massive surge of power instantly flowed through Su Yang's body. He mentioned that the power was about to burst from his body. The notification window then informed the name of the sword. It was Dragonbone Great Sword, Devourer of Ethos. It was a sword made out of the bones of the Black Dragon. There were no level requirements and no special or attribute requirements to use this weapon. It provided 500 strength, spirit, and speed to its user. It provided 10% boost to the physical damage, magical damage, and spiritual resistance. The special feature of this sword was that when a dragon was killed by this sword, it will devour its corpse and add 10% of the dragon's attributes to the weapon. It will also not drop upon the death of the user. Feeling that instant urge to use this sword, Su Yang took an offensive stance and launched a slash toward the mountain in front. An instant surge of blue energy rushed toward the mountain, devastating everything in the path. Looking at the damage done by the sword, Su Yang mentioned that it was unbelievably strong. Although the primary state boosts were not top tier, but the key feature of this sword was growth potential. According to him, it was a terrifying feature, as expected of a weapon dropped by the Black Dragon. Then he noticed that the Black Dragon must have been the offspring of Ancient Devourer. The dragon had strength compared to the other dragons in their mature stage, while it was still in its juvenile stage. He thought that was the reason of the system chose this dragon. As a bonus of killing the Black Dragon, he also received the Heart of the Dragon Slayer. The system informed that he has received the Dragon Slayer's heart. It provided 50% boost to the spirit and 100% boost to the strength. The key feature of this item was that it ignored dragon races' all talents and increased the damage to dragon creature by 500%. It also had a single-use charge that can summon the blood soul of slumbering hero to aid in the battle. After acquiring all these items, Su Yang thought that right now calling him a walking humanoid boss wouldn't be an exaggeration. He then noticed that it was finally the time for the last reward. The system then notified that a boss co-op kill was detected and started generating a boss minion. In the next moment, the Black Dragon Athos was resurrected in its full glory and stood in front of Su Yang, roaring loudly. The system completed its process and announced that the Black Flame Dragon Athos will serve him as a minion and fight by his side from now on. The Black Dragon bowed his head and Su Yang walked toward the dragon, while saying that we meet again, old friend. He gently touched the Black Dragon, saying that although erasing his mind was indeed a bit cruel, he mentioned that he should have fallen in the previous attempts. Was it a blessing or a curse? Su Yang then requested that the Black Dragon should not hold any hard feelings against him as they are partners now. He jumped on the head of the Black Dragon and said that there was no time for being sentimental right now. He commanded the Black Dragon to go to the fortress. The Black Dragon instantly took to the sky here in this command. The elf princess was walking alone in the fortress while wondering that there were no dragonkin left, which means that Black Dragon Ethos was finally defeated. She wondered that who could have killed the Black Dragon. While she was in the middle of her thoughts, she saw the silhouette of the Black Dragon in the sky. The Black Dragon started landing in front of her, and she wondered that how was this possible. She was sure that the Black Dragon died. Before completing her thought, she noticed that there was a young man on top of the dragon. The realization hit her like you guys hit the subscribe button. Indeed, it was our Giga Chad boy Su Yang. He stretched his hand toward the princess while mentioning that he has come to rescue her. She was even more confused and wondered why that there was a human on the back of the Black Dragon. And that was it for today. I hope that you liked today's video, and if you did, hit that like button as today's like goal is 1,500 likes. Comment part 15 down below for the next part. Also, consider subscribing with the notification bell on to get notified as soon as a new video drops onto the channel. You can also join the channel to support me financially and watch videos before public release. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching.